What is the European debt crisis?
The European debt crisis is a situation in Europe where countries essentially took on too much debt. There are now real questions about whether these countries are going to be able to repay their loans, and if some of them default, it could create a collapse of the European banking sector, ultimately creating a global recession.
How much debt are we talking about?
For countries like Greece, they're facing a debt to GDP ratio of about 165%. To put that into context, Canada's debt to GDP level is about 30 to 40%.
How did these countries accumulate so much debt?
When the EU was created, it gave countries with marginal economies access to cheaper loans than they should have had. Many of these countries spent their money on the wrong things. In the case of Greece, they borrowed substantially at low interest rates to fund a giant welfare state for the country, and now they can no longer afford to fund these services.
What started this problem?
Well, this problem started with the classic case of politics and economics. When the EU was created, the 27 member countries agreed on a monetary union, but they didn't necessarily agree on a fiscal union. The big challenge moving forward is a need for stronger financial regulation and oversight, particularly of the loans and banking system of all of the 27 countries, but also stronger regulation over tax and fiscal policy. If the countries can't achieve these objectives, the EU is potentially doomed. And this has been a brief primer on the European debt crisis. If you have an economic issue that you'd like me to break down, send your ideas to the link below, and we'll see what we can do.